Kill me! Can't do it.
In this video, you're going to see me approach girls during a literal anxiety attack. Now, for context, I was taking a medication for anxiety for 4 or 5 years, and I decided to try to quit it. And so this is a couple weeks into my withdrawals, which my withdrawal symptoms were very intense. One of them was dizziness, like a constant light vertigo. Another one is these like zapping feelings in my brain, extreme anxiety, just tons of weird, freaky, uncomfortable symptoms. But I thought it would be really cool to push through that and try to approach girls despite me being at my worst, despite literally being on the verge of an anxiety attack. I decided to go out and film myself approaching to show that no matter how bad your emotional state, no matter how bad your resistance, you can overcome it. You can push through it. And when you do, your emotions follow suit. So you're going to see, yes, my first approaches, they sucked. They were not good. I was not having a good time. I did not want to be doing it. But after just 3 or 4 approaches, the anxiety actually goes away and I start having a good time. So this is a video that is not meant to show you the best pickup ever. It's actually me at my worst, but I think it shows a very powerful lesson.
Kill me!
I say, kill me. I'm really don't want to do this.
Can't do it.
Hesitating. But what this is going to prove to you is that even when you have that feeling of hesitation, it doesn't mean it's over, because that's what we tend to think. Oh, I already hesitated. It's done. I can't approach her. The window has closed. But that's not actually true. Just because you hesitated doesn't mean you can't disprove your excuses and still do the approach. And as soon as you do that, you get a lot of confidence, a lot of momentum going into future approaches.
All right. You're very beautiful.
Okay, awful tonality, awful body language. I'm super uncomfortable, but I forced myself to do it.
Thank you very much. Oh, British.
You're British.
No, you sound British.
No, I'm from Ireland.
Ah, okay. I was not even close.
Where are you from?
I am from the U.S.
Okay.
I like the accent. You're pulling it off. Yes, it's you know, Conor McGregor doesn't sound as attractive.
Yeah, we're not from the same town.
McGregor.
Yeah, I am a big fan.
You know, he made Ireland famous, but then
He got a bit crazy, didn't he?
I went a little downhill. I loved. He got me in MMA. I was like, I never heard of.
Okay, so I'm getting a little bit more in the zone. I'm still uncomfortable. It's still not great, but I'm getting more free flowing, right? I'm making associations. So I brought up Conor McGregor, and now I'm making a reference to how he went downhill and had a fall from grace. And now it's a lot more of a free flowing conversation and not as choppy and stiff.
Until I saw his, like, you know, the press conference is like, this guy's an entertainer. I was like, all right, it's a fun sport. People get bloody, amazing. But then when his last few fights, he's like, I'm gonna fuck your wife, and then he said, like, I think he threatened Dustin Poirier's family.
He was about to, like, apologize. I just, like, think that you should apologize to... Like, okay, can you go now?
Absolutely fucking nobody! Nobody!
Exactly.
What brings you guys to Vegas? Cinco de Mayo? Celebrating your heritage?
Sorry?
Cinco de Mayo's today.
Yeah, no, we're just on a holiday. We live in Vancouver. We live in Canada.
Vancouver. You're very beautiful. Do you have Instagram?
I do have Instagram. Do you want to take my Instagram?
See if I can get it to work.
Sure. What part of
Huh?
what part of the US do you say you're from?
Arizona.
Okay, the fact that she's asking questions, acting very engaged, these are really good signs that even though my approach isn't perfect, even though I'm not in the best state, it's still good enough, which is a very important concept to be aware of. Perfect is not necessary. And sometimes even bad will be good enough. Sometimes you're going to meet a girl who just happens to be in the right mood. She wants to meet somebody. You're her physical type, or she just broke up with someone, whatever it is, she's ovulating, I don't know. Like for whatever reason, she's really open, and even a bad approach, even if you're not the best looking guy, and on this clip, I'm like 210 pounds, so definitely overweight and not at my best looking. I've also seen tons of guys who are by society standards and also not smooth. I have a friend who's over 50, not good looking, and he pulls attractive 20-year-olds on a, well, 21-year-olds, it's in clubs, but on a regular basis. Now, despite my approach not being perfect, despite me not being a male model, this is a very attractive girl, and she's showing the outward signs of attraction and being interested because I'm taking action. And this is what the guys who say pickup doesn't work, the guys who say it's hopeless, they never try, right? They've decided it doesn't work even though they've never tried, because it's a lot easier to believe that it's not going to work, it's impossible, you're just wasting your time, than it is to do something where you're putting your ego on the line and you take the risk of rejection. It's a lot easier to tell yourself the soothing story that, oh, well, if I approach, I'll just get a bad reputation. Every girl's going to reject me. It's just a waste of time and energy. I need to get ripped first. I need to go to Thailand first, whatever. It's such lame, lazy, bullshit, loser thinking. And this is a good example of me being at my worst, but still sometimes you're going to meet the right girl.
We're after a very long drive from San Diego today. We were in San Diego for a couple of days.
Yeah, I love San Diego. I just got this phone because my other one broke. I'm waiting for the replacement. I don't have Instagram.
It's actually because my other phone is filming, so I had to think of a way to get her Instagram.
Well, okay. I might not have any
Shitty phone.
data, but let's try it.
Data? So, did you like San Diego?
I did, yeah. We had a great time there. We had friends there, so we went.
It's way better than LA.
We were in LA the day
Well, I think
before
San
that.
Diego's way better.
We loved LA, but then we went to San Diego. We were like, okay, no, we love San Diego. So we'll see what
It's far better. No, people in LA are weird.
They are. They're a bit crazy.
They always try to get you into Scientology,
Okay, right.
which is an issue. And they'll like talk to you about crystals or something. They're always doing something bizarre. It's weird. Stuff is popping up and then it's...
I don't have any data, so that's probably why.
Here.
So I'm still not feeling great. I still have some anxiety, but you can tell that it's smoothing itself out, that my state, my emotions, my level of stress are all getting better because I'm doing something that if you have anxiety, you're going to try not to do. Think about that. Whenever you have anxiety or you have stress, the way to get rid of it is to do something that you don't want to do when you have it. If you let that land, that can really change your life. So by doing the thing that my anxiety is trying to tell me not to do, approach women, then the anxiety dissipates. It actually disappears over time as long as you're able to go through it and not give up. Now, you don't want to push yourself to the extreme and like try to ask a couple for a threesome or something if you're in this state, but just getting a little bit out of your comfort zone, doing something you have resistance to, and then building on that over time, you can actually get rid of any negative state.
This is retarded, but I'll write it down, and when I download the app, can I have your email? Can I have your email, please?
I think she touched me there. That's a very, very good sign that a girl's into you.
Which one? Because I have about 50 of them.
I'll be all right. You have 50 emails?
I have a lot of emails.
You get a lot of spam? Same.
Sorry, what's your name?
Avery.
Avery.
Ready for a handshake?
If a girl proactively asks for your name, that's a very good sign that she's interested.
I'm gonna get a carrier pigeon, and in about 2 weeks it'll arrive and send you a message. Lovely meeting you. What are you guys doing tonight?
We have no idea really. We just kind of arrived out.
Oh, just now?
Yeah, any suggestions?
As girls, you can get any club for free, but you have to...
So she's making herself available by saying, we have no idea what we're doing. If she wasn't interested, even if they weren't doing anything, she would most likely say she's doing something. She'd make herself seem unavailable. That's what usually happens. And so that's another good sign.
But it's much cheaper for women.
Okay, so like,
If I were you, I'd go to Zouk. Zouk? The club Zouk? Zouk? For you, for women, it's probably like $30.
okay, right.
For men, it's like 200.
Okay,
Until they keep the ratios good, I'm okay with it. I'll pay more.
$30.
Oh, Gucci, okay. I don't know if I can keep up. But yes, I will hopefully add you.
Yeah, hopefully, at some stage.
Yes.
You need to
It's
get
great
into
meeting
that.
you. It's great
Yeah,
meeting you.
you too, man.
Yes, I mean,
Now, I should be making plans. This is because of the anxiety, because I'm in so much resistance. I should be trying to make plans to meet up with her at a specific time and specific place. That makes it a lot more likely that a number is going to follow through.
it literally happened yesterday, but very erudite.
I'm an erudite.
And so this approach is where I really started getting out of my head. The anxiety is mostly gone, and I'm starting to actually have a good time, despite initially feeling absolutely terrible.
Although, you know what it means.
Of course I do.
So I called
I've
it
read
that.
Divergent.
Neurodiverse?
Yes, exactly. I'm on the spectrum, so... No, I'm just kidding.
That, what if I, you know, that you gotta be careful with that joke. I'm fine with it, but that's a high risk joke you're
Well, my
making.
brother,
Thank you for that.
Mercury in retrograde.
Can you get a picture of them?
Mercury in lemonade.
Did you say Mercury's in lemonade?
So you can see by the end, I'm genuinely having fun. My anxiety level is a lot lower and the approach is a lot better. Now, I'm going to show the rest of that clip in a future video, so make sure to subscribe to the channel, make sure to hit the bell button. So this video shows a few things. One is that no matter how intense your negative emotional state, no matter how many excuses you have running through your mind, you can overcome them. You can go through them. And it develops a lot of discipline. It develops a lot of willpower. It makes you more capable of achieving any of your goals when you do this. It doesn't have to be with approaching women. That's just one example. And I think that's a very powerful example that most men avoid. We all want a better dating life. And yet how many men, when they see a hot girl, actually take action and approach her? But we all have emotional reasons not to. We all have excuses. We all have resistance. That's the real reason we don't do it. But I wanted to show in this video that no matter how intense your excuses are, I'm literally having an anxiety attack. And if you don't know, I have called ambulances before because I thought I was dying from anxiety attacks. That's how intense they've been. I've said my last words. I've called my own mother and said that I loved her and that I'm sorry that I was going to die young, like that I wanted her to be happy without me. That's how intense. Like I really believed I was dying 100%. I've actually broken my femur bone, and I would say a panic attack is more intense in how extreme the discomfort is. I've been doing this for years. I don't expect you to be able to approach girls during a literal anxiety attack. But if I can do that, you can do it despite some approach anxiety, despite some resistance, despite your excuses. That's what I wanted to show you in this video. And also that when you push through negative emotions, when you take action despite negative emotions, that's how you get yourself into the state that you want to be in. It's not by resisting and avoiding. That just makes it worse. That's the anxiety loop, is you resist doing things that give you anxiety, and then you become a more sheltered, closed off, you loop more, you become more anxious. You don't become less anxious. When you avoid it, you become more anxious. So it's important to be aware of that. And I think this video, it kind of shows why I'm so passionate about this coaching, because I was diagnosed with panic disorder when I was 18, and approaching women was harder for me than pretty much anyone. Now, usually I don't have anxiety anymore, and this was a rare opportunity because I'm literally withdrawing from a medication to show what that looks like. But this is kind of an example of my starting point, right? This is an example of how difficult this was for me. I've gone through a lot of struggle, a lot of emotional turmoil to be able to get good with women, because it's something that naturally I was terrible at. I was horrible at. I was terrified of. Despite that, over the course of years, I've managed to get to a point where I have a lot of success, where I've dated many beautiful, and not just beautiful physically, but really great women overall, despite having a worse starting point than most people who watch my channel, despite having a worse starting point than most of you. So I know that if I could do it, that you can do it as well. And that's why I do coaching. If you'd like to work with me in person, click the link below to learn more about my 3-day boot camps and to sign up for a free 15-minute coaching call with me.